Let's take a few moments here as we just continue to prepare for our practice. We like to start in standing, mountain pose, taking a moment of stillness and silence, just to move inside of ourselves. We start by focusing on breath. You might start with a full deep breath, a nice audible inhale and an audible exhale. Very nice. One more time. Nice full breath in, feeling that expansiveness in your chest and lungs. And exhale. Good. And just allow your body and your mind just to settle. Continue with slow, steady breaths. Just mindful breathing in and out. As you're breathing, assess how you're feeling right now. What's going on inside of you? And perhaps your breath takes you on a journey throughout your body. Letting you know how you're feeling at this moment. Perhaps giving you some ideas on how your practice today can help you, benefit you, support you. Continue with your breathing. As you inhale, you may feel your breath rising to fill your lungs. And as you exhale, as you're able, draw your belly button in towards your spine, just a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. Call this the abdominal lock. Again, a breath in to fill your lungs. You might even feel the lengthening of your spine growing taller. Exhale, drawing navel in, connecting to your center body. Just adding on to these sensations of being here in the moment, more mindful and connected. We'll be focusing on hip openers, particularly Pigeon Pose, and various ways to do that posture. Let's take 3 more breaths, using these breaths to prepare your body to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Just stretch, reach all the way up. And exhale, fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and just make your way down towards your toes. And inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or your knees and extend your spine, creating a long, flat back, only rising halfway. On the exhale, just slowly slide back down towards your toes. Now, you don't have to go all the way down. Maybe you just pause partially down. Just come to a point that just feels good for you at this moment. And wherever you are, noticing these sensations, be that lengthening or stretch quality down through the backs of your legs, noticing the curvature of your spine perhaps, even perhaps a heaviness in your upper body, your arms just kind of hanging out in front of you here. If you'd like, maybe add some movement, rolling of the shoulders, gentle movement of your head and neck, even a sway of your whole upper body, just perhaps releasing any tightness in your low back or hips. Just return to a standing posture. Let's set it up. Start by shifting your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees to lower your hips like you're sitting down into a low chair. Then start to lift the upper body, then extend your arms out and up, reaching into the air as you inhale. As you exhale, bring your palms together down to your heart, or you can bring your arms down to your side. Either one, they're both correct. Just pause for a moment, finding breath. That's our half salute to the sun. Let's just repeat that. When you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Good extension, nice stretch. Exhale, swan dive forward. Again, hinging from hips, soft knees. Make your way down partially or all the way. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine, rising halfway up. Exhale, fold back down to your forward fold. Just a brief pause here, and let's continue moving. Shifting weight into the heels, bend your knees, lowering your hips. Let's rise back up with an inhale, extend arms out and up. Another nice stretch at the top. Exhale, hands to heart or arms down to your side. Good, return to your breath. Good. And just a reminder, this is your practice. Move in the way that feels good to you. Take your time, modify any poses. Be sure to rest whenever you need to. Let's continue. Inhale, take the arms out and up, reaching high. Good energy in your hands and fingers. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, soft knees. With control, making your way down towards toes. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs, extending your spine. Feel like you're coming forward to help that length. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees enough to place your hands on your mat out in front of your feet and take several steps back to the back end of your mat and just draw a straight line from head to heel. You'll be in plank pose, this high push-up position. Hold for a moment. Good strength and length in the body. We'll take a breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees a little. Send your hips into the air while your chest and head sink between the arms. This is our shortcut to downward facing dog. And once you're here, if you need to make any adjustments with your feet, with your hands, just help settle into the pose so it doesn't feel like you're going to fall or slide away out of the posture. You can just hold and just be here, experience the sensations, or add movement as it feels good. Maybe pedal the feet, stretching through your toes, feel the stretch in your calves and other parts of your body. You may allow your knees to bend, your hips might shift side to side. If you need to rest, you can just come down to your knees, even sit back into child's pose. From here, take a nice full breath in, filling up your lungs. Exhale, and as you exhale, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop both feet. Return to the top of your mat. You'll be in forward fold. Inhale, extend through your spine. Crown comes forward. Exhale, fold again. Shifting weight into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive and come all the way back up, reaching high. We'll keep this moving. On the exhale, take chair pose. Utkatasana, or a chair-like position. You can keep this a high seat, or if you like to, maybe sit back and down a little deeper, getting into the legs and hips. Let's take a breath in. On the exhale, dive out of your seat, down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the lengthening of your spine. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Here we go. Hands to the earth. Hop or step or walk the feet back. Here's plank pose. Let's just pause for a moment. You can take that same shortcut to down dog here, or with your exhale, finish the push-up. Bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs. Yes, lower your way down. You can always bring knees to the floor first. Your inhale to a back bend. It could be a low cobra, just barely lifting, or straightening the arms, lifting chest and hips into up dog. On the exhale, tuck your toes. Send the hips into the sky, and again, chest and head sink between the arms. Adjusting the feet, adjusting the hands, arrive in your pose. Let's add a lunge. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you. Exhale, let's step right foot to the top of the mat, just somewhere behind the right hand is good. Turn your left heel to the floor. Be sure to put weight back into that foot. You'll shift the weight back. So your balance hand should be light enough so you can reach forward, hinge from hips, and rise up. Let's hold warrior one for a moment. So keeping the arms extended, that's it. Reaching high, nice lunging low sensation. The left hip flexor, getting a little stretch. As we extend the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bring your hands back down to the floor. Slide your right foot back to meet the other. There's plank pose. Again, you can take the shortcut to down dog or finish your push-up. Modify that if you need to. You can always skip this and go right into down dog. Choose the shortcut if you'd like to. We'll just always meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Find the wall behind you. Exhale, let's step left foot to the top of the mat. Take your time to get there. Right heel turns to the earth, root back, shift back into that foot. Hands should be light enough so you can hinge from hips, rise up. Here's our warrior one. Hold here. Reaching high, lunging low. We're facing forward with this right leg kind of gets this outer spiral or outer rotation, so we get that stretch in the upper thigh, hip flexor. Here we go. Breathe in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hands return to the earth. Left foot slides back. There's plank pose. And complete the series as you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to an up dog or a cobra pose. That's if you're going through that full vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing. Settle in. Take a breath or two. Let's add another lunge here. Inhale, extend right leg up again. Right foot to the top of the mat. You can always take your time with these transitions. Turn left heel to the floor behind you. Again, finding your center and balance. Rising high, first warrior. Exhale, opening to your left. Arms come down to parallel. You'll be in warrior two. Yes, you might need to adjust your feet. Perfect. So you feel well secure, good balance, good structure beneath you. All right, side angle pose. Reach forward to angle the upper half of the body. Right hand will reach downward, left hand reaching upward. That's it. Side angle pose. Nice opening in the heart space. Also a good hip opener here in this lunge. Now the right hand might touch the floor, but you don't have to touch the floor. You can be much higher up if it feels better. Here we go, breathing in, ready to move. Exhale, we'll turn and fold, hands to the earth. Slide right foot back, plank pose. Again, complete the series as you'd like. Modify it. Skip it and just go right into down dog. Here's a low cobra. Meeting in down dog. Move when you're ready. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. And exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the earth. Finding your center. Take your time with these transitions. Rising high, warrior one. And exhale, opening to a warrior two. Adjusting your strong foundation, movement of feet. Yes, nice lunge, outstretched arms, tall torso. Here's our side angle. Follow the left arm forward. That will angle the upper half of the body. That's it. Rotate the arms, reach up, reach down. Feel this good opening, creating space. Breathing. Even imagine or really feel how breath is filling up these newly opened spaces. Here we go, breathing in. And our exhale, a return to the earth. So we'll turn and fold, hands to the mat, slide left foot back, there's plank. Again, just complete the series as it feels good to you. Let's do a little floor work, so gently bring your knees to the floor. Let's meet in hero pose first. So first just sit back towards the heels. If you can, just sit right down. Now it's a dynamic stretch in the knees, shins, and ankles here. If that's too much, you can always do hero pose differently. You can just kind of tuck the toes, even not sit all the way down into it, okay? If you need to modify. But the intention here, just to get some length and stretch through the top of the foot. Here, okay, let's come out of that pose, shift off to the side, swing the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat so you have some space behind you, so you can roll down onto your back. Go ahead and bring knees with you, draw them in, catch them in your hands, and add some movement as it feels good. Check in with your breathing. Since your feet are free, maybe some movement in your feet and ankles. Circle the feet, maybe flex them, point your toes, wiggle the toes if you can. And then we'll get set up for bridge, which is the back bend. Just plant the feet into the ground. Make sure there's a solid connection as if you were standing a mountain pose. Then take a breath in, fill up your lungs. Maybe exhale through the mouth so you can feel the air leave your belly. Engage your core muscles and then lift your hips off the ground. You can just lift a little bit off the floor. You can even use your hands or a block underneath you just to stay low for a more supported bridge pose, or just continue lifting. Just notice these changes, these shifts in sensation in the body. I feel this in my upper thighs, hip flexors, even low belly a little bit. Then underneath, hamstrings, glutes, even squeeze your glute muscles, get that engagement. And to get more of that back bend feel, more opening in the upper body, you might rock your upper body left and right several times to get your shoulders a bit underneath you. so you feel a bit more of an opening across the chest. For more support of the upper body, you might bend your elbows so your arms are at 90 degrees, fingers are reaching for the ceiling, and just press down into the floor with the backs of your arms. It'll help you stay suspended, lifting, opening. 2 more breaths. After the second breath, take your time, start to soften. You might wiggle the toes forward a little bit. That'll make space in the low back. Extend your arms up into the air. That should release the shoulders out from underneath you. And then go ahead and roll your way down to the ground. A nice soft landing. Go ahead and extend your arms behind you if you have room. Extend your arms or legs out front. Nice stretch in these opposite directions. We're going to do one more pose here on the floor. You can just bring your arms down by your side like you're in Shavasana for a moment. Let's move into half happy baby pose. So we're going to start with the right leg. So draw right knee in, catch it in your hands, and just draw it in a little bit. A light flex of the right foot. Take this right knee and leg out to the right side a little bit. Now you can stay just like this for the hip stretch, or for the happy baby, go ahead and kick the foot up towards the ceiling. If you can, reach up with this right hand, holding on to the sole of the foot or even your ankle. And just the weight of your hand on your foot will just draw that knee and leg downward towards the outside of your body. If you notice that weight and you're kind of rolling to your right side, maybe just extend your left arm out to the left side just to create some balance so you still feel flat on the ground, if that makes sense. And just some deep breaths here. You might just hold in stillness. You might even add a little movement here just to get into that joint, that hip socket area. Just a couple breaths, just introducing some more hip openers. All right, let's go ahead and release the foot, extend the leg out front, return to that Shavasana for a moment. We'll do the other side. When you're ready, just draw a left knee in, just catch it in your hands. Be a light flex of the foot, moving the knee off to the left side a bit. Again, you can just stay right here for the hip stretch, or half happy baby, kicking the foot up towards ceiling, reach up with the left hand, find the ankle or the sole of the foot. Again, the weight of the hand will draw that leg down. That'll create the stretch. You don't have to push or pull. Just let the natural weight do the work. And if you feel like you're rolling to the left side, just extend your right arm out to the right side to create some balance in the body. Hold in stillness or add some movement as it feels good. Just getting into the hip socket, just lightly limbering up. 2 more breaths. After the second breath, we'll release, return to Shavasana, so everything kind of come back to a neutral place, realigning. And let's reactivate the body. Draw both knees into chest. If you'd like, rock your way up to seated, or roll to one side and press yourself up to seated. Let's come to boat pose. So boat, nice core strengthening posture. I typically start with feet flexed, heels on the floor. You can do this too if you want, with knees bent, holding onto the backs of the knees and literally draw myself up. Nice straight spine, long neck. Inhale to get that length. Exhale through the mouth. Air leaves the belly and feel the contraction there. Then start to lean back. So the farther you lean back, the more tension you'll create. You can even lean back more. I'm walking the heels toward myself until I just find that balance where the heels just easily float off the floor. Then I can lift the feet, keeping the knees bent, holding onto the bent knees, or free the hands, or even extend the legs. So lots of ways to be in this pose. You can always go to more intensity, okay, or back it up if you need a little bit more support. They're all correct. Okay, a couple more breaths. Nice. Here we go. Breathing in, ready to move. On the exhale, perhaps cross legs if you can, hands in front, or even just to the side. We're just getting the legs back behind us. Return to plank pose here. Maybe still feeling that core connection after being in boat. Let's take a shortcut to downward facing dog. So soften the knees, hips into the sky. Adding on. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Let's just hold for a moment and just feel the body continue to get longer. Then we're going to open the hip. We're just making space. We're going to now open the hip. So yeah, you'll bend your right knee. You've got it. Heel comes down towards your backside. A little lift of the knee will create a little twist or an opening towards the right side of the room. Now with this knee in the air, try to draw a circle in the air with this knee. It could be a small circle or a big circle, up and around and down. Make sure you go in both directions, maybe a couple times one direction, maybe a couple in the other direction. And just return here at the top. Inhale. On the exhale, unwind, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Landing, left heel to the earth, find center. Rising to warrior one. Inhale. And exhale, opening to warrior two. Just connecting. Adjusting feet for balance. There we are. Side angle pose. Reaching out, angled upper body. Rotate the arms. Right hand down, left hand up. Holding for a moment. You might find, just because of the work we've done so far, that half happy baby pose, and that big circle in the air with the knee and hip, you might find yourself going a little bit deeper. Let's breathe in. Exhale, turn and fold, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Hold for a moment for the body to realign. And again, we'll just take a shortcut to down dog. Soft knees, hips into the air. Arriving in the pose, and then we'll do the other side. Inhale, extending left leg up, reaching back, energetically finding the wall, getting longer. You're making space. Now hip opener, good. Bending the left knee, heel comes down a bit, lifting the left knee a little bit. These aren't big movements. And then the circle with the knee, that too can be a small movement, or if you can, big circles, just depending on how this feels in your hip, your back. Good. Make sure you rotate in both directions as you're able, and then just finish at the top. Wonderful. Breathe in, and the exhale, unwind and step through. That takes some good upper body strength too, holding yourself in place. Heel to the floor behind you, rising when you're ready. Inhale, first warrior. Exhale, opening to your warrior two. Adjusting your strong foundation. There it is. Once you feel solid, then side angle pose. Reaching out, tip it over. Check in, feel. Are you feeling more open, more spacious, maybe getting closer to the ground, still not needing to touch the ground, but maybe it's a little easier to go a little deeper. Excellent. Breathe in, and exhale, we'll turn and fold. Hands return to the earth, back to our plank pose. Still able to take the shortcut, but if you want, finish the vinyasa by coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana, going through to your back bend, finishing in down dog. We'll take a breath in. On the exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. You'll be in forward fold. Inhale, extend through spine. Halfway lift. And fold. Exhale. Weight shift into the heels. Bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. We'll come up, reaching high. Another nice stretch. Exhale, arms down to your side. Wonderful. Good. Yeah, relax for a moment. Check in with your body. Notice how you're feeling now. Alrighty. Let's do a little balance work. So tree pose, which I also consider a hip opener. We'll break it down. So mountain pose, solid on 2 feet. Make sure you have soft knees. I'm going to shift weight over into your right foot. Nice connection into the ground. Then inhale to get long in the spine. Breath rising to fill lungs. Exhale through the mouth. Engage your core like boat. Then we're ready. Pick up left foot, maybe flexing the foot. And here's the hip opener as the knee kind of swings out until it naturally stops. Then placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. Yeah, you might assist your own set body, placing the foot on the inner thigh up here, or you can always go lower to your calf or even use the ground with your toes. Once in place, inhale, extend arms up, reaching high. Some of you are interlacing fingers. That is a nice option. You can keep the hands free, even open the arms, even bend elbows. You can even bring hands to heart. Wherever you are, you still want to feel this nice lengthening through the side of the body, like your torso is lifting up out of this pelvic bowl. That's going to help open the hips. So you might notice the left knee pointing a bit more towards the side of the room. Stay in place. We'll swing this left knee forward now, lifting knee flexed foot, keeping it active. Plant the foot. Return to balance on 2 feet, and the arms return to your side. Excellent. Yeah, shake all this loose. Okay, check in with that right foot, your toes as well. That's it. Good. And just make your way back to mountain pose. Settling in. Balanced on 2 feet, soft knees. Shifting weight into left foot. Nice strong connection. Inhale, get tall, fill the lungs. Exhale, belly in, core connection. Now we'll pick up the right foot. Flexing the foot just keeps the leg strong. We'll swing the door open. That's our hip opener. And then foot to inner leg. High, medium, or low. And when you're ready, yes, extending the arms up. All these nice variations. Interlaced fingers or free hands, a little wider. Bent elbows or hands to heart. Again, just feeling the lengthening through the sides of the body. Feel lifted out of the pelvic bowl, making space. See if this knee points just a tiny bit more towards the right side. Will hips stay square? Arms stay extended. We'll swing this right knee forward, lifting knee flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground, rebalancing, and then arms return to your side. Yep, shake it loose. All done. Perfect. Nice. All right, continuing with our flow. Still moving at your own pace. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Let's return to chair pose. Exhale, sitting back. Weight shift back into the hips and heels. Maybe your toes can tap there. Inhale, and exhale, dive out of your seat towards toes. There's our forward fold. Release the head. Take a peek between your knees. Then inhale, slide your hands up to the shins, extending the spine. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees enough to plant hands into the ground. Hop or step, both feet back, plank pose. Come down if you want to, Chaturanga Dandasana. Again, you can always skip this or modify the flow. The shortcut is very appropriate here. There you are. Landing in downward facing dog. We're just moving with breath, so go at your own pace. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist open like you did earlier. Nice hip opener, then unwind, step through. Return to warrior one. Left heel returns to the earth. Behind you, finding your center. We're rising with an inhale. Exhale, opening warrior two. Okay, let's settle in. Let's add a different pose here. Let's reverse the warrior here. Let's flip the right palm up, reach into the sky. It can be straight up. It might be even slightly forward or even towards the back of the room. Again, just depending on how this feels in your hips, the sides of your body, your low back. But a good extension, yeah. Still lunging forward just a bit. Yeah, nice bent right knee. We're just going to windmill or a big cartwheel out of the pose, around and down to the floor in front. Okay, listen carefully. Slide this right foot back to plank pose, but keep the right foot lifted just an inch off the floor. Okay. We just did tree pose. We're going to recreate tree pose here. So you're going to place your right foot just touching the inner left leg. It might be by your knee or calf. You know, the gravity is going to try to pull your knee down, right? You need to lift the knee as you're able, pointing towards the right side of the room. I call this fallen tree. Okay, re-extend the leg back behind you. You can set the toes down. Finish your vinyasa. Again, the shortcut to down dog is fine. If you need to take a pause, a little rest, please do so. We'll meet in down dog. Yes, we add a little dynamic there. Once in down dog. Inhale, extend left leg into the air and bend and twist for the hip opener. Then unwind and step through. Here we go. Warrior one. Left foot to the top, right heel to the earth behind you, finding your center, rising when you're ready. Yes. And exhale, opening to warrior two. Settling in. Let's reverse the warrior. We're going to flip that left palm up and reach up. Now the right arm, it might just rest down on the right side or right hand on hip. I know for me that just helps support my hip. As you're reaching up or even slightly behind you, there is that lunge. So it just helps to open that left side body. Breathing, of course. There we go. And our big windmill or cartwheel out of the pose, around and down to the floor in front. Step back plank pose with left foot lifted, just an inch off the floor, not too high at all. Yeah, just extending, reaching back. And then our fallen tree, so left foot or toes, just touching the inner right leg down by the knee or calf or even ankle. Knee lifting, so it's pointing mostly towards the left side of the room and not dropping to the earth. It certainly takes some strength. Okay, release, re-extend the leg. You can set the toes down and then finish your sequence. Okay, for more of a power move, you can keep that left foot lifted and then finish the push-up coming down. Up dog, downward facing dog. Let's return to hero pose just for a moment here. Same thing, lengthening through the top of the foot, lengthening through the ankle. And we'll do this in 2 other poses. We've already really have done it. Up dog or whatever back bend you do, we're getting the same effect here. When we get into pigeon pose, you'll be doing the same thing. Okay, so just a little connection to that for a moment. All right, sitting off to the side, just bring the legs around to the front. Just come to cobbler's pose, bound angle, right here. Feel free just to sit on your mat if you need a little lift or more support. If you have a block or a cushion or a blanket even, maybe sit on that prop if that helps with your sitting style. So cobbler's pose or bound angle. Get that hip opener. You can stay nice and tall. That certainly does affect the inner legs here, but for more sensation, just hinging forward even with a rounded back to help you go a little deeper. And just notice how this feels or what you feel in the inner legs. Maybe down through the back if the back is rounded here. And if you are sitting up on a block, for example, that means there's more space between you and the floor, the legs, which means they have farther to go, which might mean you get a deeper stretch if that's what you want. But again, just let gravity kind of do the work. You really don't have to do any extra pushing or pressing of the legs downward. All right, 3 more breaths. After the 3rd breath, if your back is rounded, just re-extending the spine. You might just lift your head, just help lengthen through the neck and spine, and then hinge your way back up. If you're on a block, you may want to come off the block here, nice and tall, because we're going to transition to boat. You're going to start to lean back. As you lean back, bring the knees together here. Keep leaning, maybe lifting the feet, but again, you can always keep heels on the floor. Just kind of guide your way into the posture, finding the variation and the intensity that works for you at this moment. Because you can always back it up if you feel like, oh, that's too much or that's too far, then back it up. Good, nice core engagement, lengthened spine, good breathing. Let's move from here, breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front if you can roll forward, over the legs or hands to the side, swing the feet back, plank pose. All right, bring knees to the floor, but then bring your belly to the floor, your chest to the floor. Okay, so basically Chaturanga Dandasana, we're just going to be lying flat. Okay, so we're just going to practice a back bend here. So long legs, pointed toes. Okay, so we're going back to what I was just saying about hero pose. Long legs, pointed toes behind you. So let's do a low cobra to begin. So the hands don't really have to move from where they are, but you do want to roll the shoulders away from the ground. If they're pointing to the ground, if you can roll the shoulders away from the ground, squeezing shoulder blades together if you feel that activity in the upper back. Just a light press into the floor with the hands and barely lift the chest. So you can, if you peek up here, I'm not lifting very high. Okay, so right here, I am gripping the mat, even trying to pull myself forward, leading with my heart. Okay. Meanwhile, my legs are long. I'm pointing my toes. I'm trying to reach for the wall behind. So you can make this a nice active low back bend. Inhale and exhale, come back down. Let's go to up dog. Now you don't have to do up dog. You can stay just like you can do another low cobra or locust. But here you may want to step the hands back a little bit. You want to create nice right angles with your arms so you have good leverage. Again, shoulders, if dip down, roll away from the floor, squeeze shoulder blades together. I'm going to push into the floor, straightening the arms a little bit. Okay, I'm starting to lift away from the floor, maybe about halfway up. And I'm also still gripping the mat, trying to pull myself forward. And I'm even looking forward. And as I continue to push into the floor with the hands, I'm straightening my arms, but I feel like I'm still moving towards the front of the room. My heart is leading me forward. Long legs behind you, pointed toes. Now, what you could do is press the tops of your feet into the ground to lift the knees off the floor. Now, this is pretty back bendy for me, but you can always modify this. One more breath in, and the exhale, either rest or come to a downward facing dog. So it's a dynamic back bend. So really do take advantage of down dog because it can help you to re-extend spine. Soft knees can help. Bend your knees a little bit will help you to send your hips higher up into the air. Good, let's flow. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Bend and twist. Stay here, and then just see if you can just open up a tiny bit more. Okay, back to a warrior one. Right foot to the top of the mat, left heel to the earth behind you. Root and connect, find your center, rising up. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Right palm turns up, reach into the air. Maybe that slight bend in the upper body. Here we go. Big windmill out of the pose. Hands around and down to the floor in front. Back to plank pose, right foot lifted. Same thing, we're going to return to our fallen tree. Right foot touching inside of left leg, knee pointing to the right side. We're going to add another strength move. Take a peek up here. I'm going to do a partial push-up. I'm going to bend my elbows, go down a little bit, but you can certainly go down more. Push away from the floor and extend the leg back behind you. Yes. Okay. Bend and twist. Okay. Here's our first pigeon pose. Unwind. Right knee to the floor behind the right wrist. Angle the leg. 45 degrees is just fine here. Okay. More powerful or more of the Ashtanga method would be the shin here would be parallel to the front edge of your mat. But that's a big move. Okay. So this could be more of it at an angle. And then just use the left knee and toes and just kind of crawl back, finding your center. Hands on the floor in front. You'll inhale just to get some extension through spine. Exhale, look forward. You feel like you're moving forward. And then roll down. You'll end up on your elbows or forearms. Some of you are using another variation of the pose, which is wonderful. Flip over onto your back. You move into sometimes called reclining pigeon. More formally, it's eye of the needle pose. So let's just pay attention momentarily to that left leg. You're on the top of the foot. Yeah, just like in hero pose, just like in those up dogs and cobra poses. Maybe actively reaching back through your toes. Meanwhile, you might just lift the head and chest just a little bit and try to extend the spine. Feel like you're coming forward, and then just kind of melt back down into your pose. And by doing this, you may have gone just a little bit deeper. Sometimes I feel there's a time limit on our poses, especially ones like this. If we're holding it too long, your body's starting to react to being in the pose. Don't feel like you need to stay in it. Just modify it, soften it, or even come completely out of it. All good. 3 more breaths. After your third breath, just take your time. If you're down low, just rise back up onto the hands. They'll kind of be out front here. And then sit off to your right side. So you can bring this left leg around to the front and come back to that cobbler's pose like we did earlier, just to even things out initially. We're not going to be here too long, so you might just sit up tall. You certainly can fold. That might feel good after being in that back bend we were holding earlier. 2 more breaths. Let's return to a lengthened spine. Just rising back up so you're nice and tall. Shifting to boat, so lean back, knees together, maybe lifting feet. Nicely extended spine, moving right away. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, little momentum if you can. Roll over the cross legs, hands in front. Or swing the legs back behind you, plank pose. Just do the same thing. Bring the knees to the floor. Bring your chest all the way down to the floor. You choose which back bend you want to do, up dog or keep it low like cobra or locust. If you're doing up dog, make sure the arms feel like they're at 90 degrees. Roll the shoulders away from the floor. Engage. Push down to lift up, straightening the arms. Send your heart forward, like you're pulling yourself forward. That makes space in your low back so you can get a little bit more back bendy. If you're rising higher, straightening the arms. Push tops of feet into the floor, lifting the knees if you want. There's our back bend. Then soften things up. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Take advantage. Bend the knees a tiny bit more. See if you can lift the hips a little bit higher or feel like they're moving towards the back wall, creating more length in the spine, more space in the low back. And then we'll flow. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend and twist open. And if you're able, twist open a tiny bit more. Then unwind, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. We'll start with this flow. Right heel to the earth, finding your center, rising up. Exhale, opening, warrior 2. Reversing your warrior. Left hand reaching into the air, opening through the side of the body. There we go. Here we go, big cartwheel or windmill out of the pose. Sliding left foot back, left foot lifted, plank pose. Fallen tree, left foot touching the right inner leg, knee pointing to left side. Partial push-up, a little bit or all the way down and push away. Down dog, left leg re-extends back behind you. Bend and twist just a bit, preparing for pigeon pose. Unwind, left knee to the earth, behind the left wrist. Check in with this angle. Right knee comes to the floor. Use right knee and toes to crawl back. Shifting, centering, and deepening the sensation. And inhale to lengthen spine. Exhale to crawl forward and come down. As you start to settle in, make some adjustments in either leg, your hips, your arms, or if you feel like, look, I need to flip over and do another version of this pose, please do so. Maybe you want to challenge yourself. Maybe you want to play with that left leg, and maybe you can get the shin to be more parallel to the front edge of your mat. Just notice what that feels like. But if it's a little bit too much on your knee joint or even ankle joint, then soften that up. The right foot, you're on the top of the foot, pointing through the toes, so it's slightly active back there. Lifting heart and head just for a moment so you can extend spine, try to come forward, lengthening through the spine, and then just come back down, settling in, having made a little bit more space. Let's take 3 more breaths. When When you feel complete, take your time, start to rise up. Once you're high enough, sit off to your left side. Let's bring the right leg around to the front. It's also a nice transition as far as your hip is concerned. Okay, to our bound angle pose right here. Staying tall or folding, rounding the spine. Again, we're not going to be here too long. Two more breaths. Then we'll extend the spine. Let's hinge our way back up. Nice and tall. Same thing, same transition to our boat pose, leaning back, knees together. Lifted feet or keep them on the ground. This is just a quick transition. So inhale, get long, tall. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side. Feet back behind you, plank pose. From here, just a shortcut to downward facing dog. Return to standing. Take a breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop. Both feet up to the top of the mat. Once you're here, extend through spine. Then fold. Let's do another brief pause down here just for the release of the low back. And then a weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Reach into the air. And exhale, arms down to your side. Alrighty. Let's combine kind of that pigeon pose, that cross-leg sensation, a chair pose, and balance. Okay? So just follow me here. I just call this cross-legged chair pose. Mountain pose with soft knees. We're going to start with the arms extending up just for a little challenge. Reaching up. Okay, keep them up, soft knees, shifting weight into the right foot. You're going to pick up the left foot here, kick a soccer ball out the door, cross this left ankle over right knee or thigh, and then just start to sit back into a chair-like position. You can keep the arms extended or even bring the hands either down to the cross leg right here to your knee and ankle, or even to your hips. You might just do a quick check-in with your hips just to see if they're aligned. Because if one is kind of, this left leg crossed, that left hip might drop. So just check in to see if you're aligned here. Now you can stay here or start to kind of crawl down as I'm doing here. Arms straight, but I'm bracing my forearms against the shin to help me extend spine. Now the lower I go, the more intense this feels. I feel a bit more of a stretch in the hip. Okay, again, just choose or find the pose that works best for you here. But we are going to climb back up. It's going to be hands on ankle and knee, a little press to help you lift. Maybe extend the arms into the air again. Uncross the leg, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground, arms to your side, finishing that side. Okay, walk it out. Okay, so a little balance challenge there with the hip opener. Okay, shake all that loose. We'll get set up for the other side. Again, we'll start with the arms extended, reaching up, just a little softness in the knees, but we're shifting weight into the left foot here. Let's pick up the right foot, bending the knee, flexed foot. Let's kick the soccer ball out the window, cross ankle over thigh, and then start taking this chair pose. You can stay up high. This could be your pose. You can even bring those arms down, maybe to knee and ankle. Maybe do a quick check-in with the hips, make sure they're aligned. That can help with balance. Stay here, this is fine. But if you can and want to go a little lower, you're just bringing your heart closer towards this cross leg, kind of like pigeon pose, right? Arms can reach down, you might even touch the ground. You can even change this and shift into an arm balance if you wanted to, if you got that low. But if the arms are straight here, they're just in front of the shin, extend through spine. Breathe. We're going to make our way back up. So maybe hands on knee and ankle, just help press and lift. Let's get the arms up, uncross the leg, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Rebalance, arms return to your side. Walk that out. Very nice. Okay? Make our way down to the earth to finish our practice. Inhale, reaching into the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Good hinge of hips, soft knees, releasing head, neck, and shoulders. Monkey pose, that's the halfway lift. Slide hands to shins, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Here we go, all the way down. Hands to the floor, hop or step back. Plank pose if you like. One last time, finishing that full vinyasa, chaturanga dandasana. Up dog, cobra or sphinx, or locust, and downward facing dog. Pause and down dog. We'll make our way back down to the ground. You can kneel down, you can do that same quick little pause in hero, then out of that pose, returning to the ground. Rolling down onto your back, we'll draw knees to chest. Just initially, and then set the feet onto the floor like we're setting up for bridge. We're not doing bridge. Let's do another kind of pigeon pose and see if we can add a twist to this. So we're going to pick up the right foot, cross right ankle over left thigh. Now we just did this standing. Now we just get to do it lying down. So this is eye of the needle pose or reclining pigeon. You can lift the left foot, start drawing the legs toward yourself. You can use your right hand and arm. That's the thread going through the eye of the needle between the legs. Maybe clasping fingers around left knee or left shin or left hamstring. Just a couple of breaths here. Of course, the closer the legs are towards your chest, maybe the deeper sensation. You can always soften that up as it feels good. We're going to see if we can turn this into a twist. So let's release that left foot back down onto the floor. Let's keep this right leg crossed. But you're going to twist to your left. Okay, so your right foot will actually maybe touch the floor here. Then extend your right arm off to the right side. That's it. Just notice how this might affect your hips or low back. Just 3 more breaths on this first side. If you can, keep the legs crossed as they are. Just return to center. Once you're flat on your back, then we'll uncross. So the right foot comes to the floor. Even just pause here, let the body settle. And then eye of the needle pose on the other side. So picking up left foot, cross left ankle over right thigh. This could be the end of the pose. This might feel just fine. Or pick up right foot as you draw the legs toward yourself. Let's thread the needle. Fingers clasp around the right shin or hamstrings there. Finding the intensity that feels right for you on this side. Two more breaths. Good. Stay here longer if you need more time with this pose. Otherwise, we'll set that right foot back down onto the floor. Keep the leg crossed, but twist to your right. The left foot will probably touch the ground. That left knee is still kind of pointing up towards the ceiling, perhaps. Left arm extends out to the left side as you kind of create this rotation. If you're not really feeling this, you can certainly change the posturing here so you get the sensation you prefer here and need here. And 3 more breaths. As you're able, just keeping the legs crossed as they are, but return to neutral. And then once you're here, then uncross the legs. And feel free to extend the legs here, arms down to your side, and just use the remaining moments to relax in Shavasana. But if your body needs any other movement or pose, just feel free to move into those additional postures, just listening and responding appropriately to your body and what it needs right now. Return to the awareness of your breath, the simple awareness that you are breathing, just as you did at the beginning of your practice, as it helped you to settle into the space, to fully arrive and be here. And as you return to this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you're taking these deep breaths, noticing the spaces you've created within. Breathe into these spaces. Fill yourself up. And also feel movement begin to return to your body. You might start with just subtle movements. Continue to breathe in and out, generating this good energy. When you feel ready, take your time and roll onto one side of your body. Just to a nurturing pose. Take your time. You can also just stay in Shavasana for a few more seconds. Then perhaps eventually rolling to your side and then pressing yourself up to seated. No need to rush. You're just taking your time. Once you are in seated, just feel the extension of your spine. Relax shoulders. Hands might just rest in your lap or on your knees, or bring hands to heart center. Wherever you are, taking one more full and complete breath. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.